Asalaamu Alaykum. Thank you for joining me on today's Sisters Book Club, Reclaim Your Heart. So today we are basically in the middle of the book. We are in the portion that's called Hardship. And subhanAllah, I just wanted to share, I wanted to read a little bit of what she said in regards to the question that a lot of people ask. Basically, why do bad things happen to good people? So she says, and if indeed God is indeed just and good, shouldn't only good things happen to good people and only bad things happen to bad people? Well, the answer is yes, absolutely. Only good things do happen to good people and only bad things happen to bad people. Why? Because God is the most just and the most loving, and He has no deficiency in His knowledge or understanding. The problem is that we do have deficiencies in knowledge and understanding. End of quote. So this is in the portion Dream of Life. So I really like that because I feel like when people start to ask the question, why do people suffer, or why is this happening to me in like a broad sense, I feel like that is usually the beginning of their spiritual journey. And I feel like a lot of us may be converts, perhaps people that may have been born Muslims or born into a religion, and some type of hardship, some type of trial or test came into their life, and then it's like, what is going on? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of my life? And I feel like it challenges us to get closer to Allah. Now, subhanAllah, some of us don't take the challenge. Some of us, this is what pushes some people away from having a relationship with Allah to their own detriment. But I feel like this question is so heavy, however, it's so necessary in order to have a relationship with Allah. Because another thing that one would think that when you start to practice, when you start to become a religious person, and then you start to feel hardship, you're like, why is this happening to me? I'm praying, I'm doing what I gotta do, I'm not practicing, I'm not committing any major sins. Why are these bad things happening to me? And I feel that this is a good reminder that everything that we don't like is not necessarily bad. And everything that we do like is not necessarily good. If you lost a job, if you have faced some trials, and the result of it was you having a closer relationship to God, then those were great things. Those were good things. They weren't easy to go through, but they were good things. If you came upon some money, or you got a promotion at your job, or something happened that elevated your status, and now you don't pray, you don't have time to go to the masjid, you don't have time to practice Islam, then that was a bad thing. That was a terrible thing. And I really love how she puts that into perspective, and she challenges us to look at things from a different lens, but in essence, it's almost like sunglasses. It's almost like you can't see what's good and what's bad, especially for other people. We cannot see what is good and what is bad. We can only pray. We can only pray. Like, subhanAllah, if someone that we love is going through a hardship, subhanAllah, may Allah grant them ease through this. May Allah take away their sins. May Allah grant them comfort through this time. If someone is going through something good, then we say, Alhamdulillah, Allah put barakah in their new job. Allah, put barakah in their new home. Please bless whatever blessings you have. Everything's a blessing. Put blessings in whatever they have, so that they may use it in order to get closer to you. Bless it, preserve it, stuff like that. So I really like how she did that. And also how she used the concept of looking at this life and the hardships and thinking about our dreams. How sometimes you can have a nightmare that really can mess you up. It can mess you up for a few hours. It can maybe even mess you up for a few days. But what do you tell yourself? You tell yourself that that dream was just a dream. That's not real. And you tell yourself, don't think about it too much. It's not real. And when she mentioned that that's how we are supposed to be reminding ourselves when all else fails, in our hardships, when there's nothing else that we can do, is at the end of the day to remind ourselves that inshallah, like, the next life is better. The next life is better. Everything here is temporary. The good times and the bad times, the ups and the downs, it's all temporary. But in the next life, inshallah, in Jannah, things are perfect, things are stable, and they will not change in regards to, it will always be perfect, it will always be fun, it will always be good. And I really like that. And so I also wanted to, can't think about it right now, but if you have any thoughts, if you have anything that you want to share, if you haven't had a chance to pick up the book and you haven't read the chapter, that doesn't matter. This is just about hardship. What do you use in order to keep your Iman up when you're going through a trial? See, the thing about a test, we think a test is for someone else, right? It's like, if I'm being tested with my patience, if I consider myself a patient person, and then I'm put in a situation where I have to practice patience, then that test is to show me, is to give me kind of a review, kind of give me a grade on how good I'm doing on my being patient, not on those that are testing my patience. See, I told y'all I'm trying to be patient, y'all trying to provoke me, y'all trying to mess with me. The test is really on us. May Allah forgive us and grant us ease in our tests and me. And so now I remember. So one thing that this whole thing reminded me of in regards to how to bring our Iman up when we're going through hardship is what our ancestors of the African diaspora went through. Those of our ancestors that were in slavery, that were on sugar plantations in the Caribbean and Puerto Rico, on cotton plantations, just slavery in general. And subhanAllah, if there was ever a time to feel that there was no hope, that there was no light at the end of the tunnel, it was at that time. But history has shown us, it's a fact that our ancestors, they were in constant dhikr, they were in constant dua. They call them spirituals, these songs, right? These songs, these Negro spirituals. Why? Because they were calling out to Allah. What were they saying to Allah? Were they out in the belly of the beast of slavery? Were they saying why me and life sucks? And no, they had to keep themselves from spiritually drowning, and so they would say, I'm going up to yonder to be with my Lord soon and very soon. They look beyond this life. They look beyond this life, and that was true hardship, subhanAllah. So may Allah forgive us for our ingratitude, and may we remind ourselves that when we are facing a hardship, to look at the things in our life that are going well. Look at the things in our life that are going well in order to pull ourselves and put forth the effort to pull ourselves out of from getting into despair, from losing hope, subhanAllah. Because if we're not careful and if we fail the test, now failing is only by quitting. And if we quit, then we will blame the religion, we will blame people, we will blame every and anybody except ourselves. And subhanAllah, the test of life is us. We are the one being tested, So I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us ease in our hardships and in our tests. And I pray that this book and this series, this time that we're spending together on this, book club, is of benefit to you as it has been for me. And once again, please share what are some things that you do, that you remind yourself of when your Iman is low, when you're going through hardships. SubhanAllah, I know for me it is. I do think of what my grandparents went through. I think of what the ancestors in slaveries went through. I think about people who are in worse conditions, and subhanAllah, no one is perfect. No one is perfect, subhanAllah. And I feel like we just have to be very proactive, very, very proactive at this, because when our deen, our Iman goes up and down, but if it starts to be more down than up, then subhanAllah, that's not good. That's like the beginning of spiritual death, and we don't want that. May Allah protect us. So thank you so much for joining me on this talk. Please share, subscribe, comment. I would never say that on my YouTube channel, but but if you're part of the WhatsApp group, please share some tips, some things that you wanna things that work for you. All right? Asalaamu Alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.